Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Well, I'm not but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Race friends, they're back together again. Live from Daytona Beach, Florida, it's Scratch with a K. And live from Las Vegas, it's Alan Michaels. Right here, right now, on the flagship station, the WCOBM TV network. It's on Pit Road Racing.
Pleasant Monday out for you. Alan Michaels here in Las Vegas and flipping the satellite over down in Daytona Beach where the world center of speed is and the famous Daytona International Speedway and seconds from originally where the Daytona 500 was run from the beach itself. Scratched with a K. Good afternoon to you, buddy.
Good evening to you, Alan Michaels. That's right, man. We can walk right out my front door and be standing right where they used to race on the beach. That's awesome, isn't it? I love it.
That's cool. That'd be great, man. Fire up a good steak and a potato and a cold beer, man. And just right down the sand they go, man. I'm in for it.
There you go.
Hey, welcome to the show today, man. I don't know, man. Did you catch any of the racing this weekend, man? The NHR, I was really bummed because I got done with NASCAR and I flipped it over thinking, man, I'm going to catch the finals of the NHRA, and it was rain, please, everybody go away, man. That sort of
I didn't get to catch it. I did hear about it. I know, that it got rained out or whatever, the finals there. I watched a lot of NASCAR this weekend, the Xfinity race and the Cup race, of course. I had just missed the truck race, because I sleep late. So, I didn't see the truck race.
As Johnny Spilatro said, well, it was finally two, and we'll get into it in just a couple of minutes, man. It was finally two that the Dancing Red Ponies, man, finally got a victory in F1, and I guess Max V had all kinds of technical problems, so the Ferraris came up alive, man. And I'm going to tell you something, man. If you get a chance, go back to Peacock and watch the Thermal $1 Million Challenge, because you talk about a place that was unbelievable. We're talking about a racetrack that was 3.5 miles long, Scratch, and they've got $25-30 million homes and infinity pools. This place was just unbelievable. I mean, and if you didn't, IndyCar just sort of got the invite. If you live there, then people own Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and they could take their cars out on the track anytime they wanted. That was just too cool, man.
Yeah, that sounds pretty neat, to be honest with you. That sounds cool.
All righty. Well, let's get it going on Pit Road Racing right here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Starts off at 4 p.m. for you on the Pacific time. We do it right here from the WCOBM studios located at 450 Fremont Street in the heart of downtown Las Vegas. Coming right off the WCOBM main network, right on to a bunch of main social media accounts from Twitter to Facebook, X, whatever you wish to call it, LinkedIn, YouTube Live. We got it streaming just about anywhere. Just find it, look up and search on Pit Road Racing. You'll find it there. Show partners real quickly, the Gene Woods Racing Experience right here downtown Fremont Street. Las Vegas' only true indoor track. More information at gokartslasvegas.com. Woods Family Sandwiches, wfsandwiches.com. Great catering. Man, if you're coming into town or if you live here in the area, if you got a party or a special event or just out and about, want to grab some great food, man. Check them out at WFSandwiches.com. The Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, HOF, that's right here, hotshoehof.com. That's what we do it for. And, of course, our home track, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, LVMS.com. South Point 400 is coming up for us in October. We're looking forward to that. Atlanta Motor Sports Park, Scratch. I just talked to Jeremy Porter, man. We're going to send up a date. Man, we might have to take us a road trip to Dawsonville, Georgia to check this joint out. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, that's not that far. That's not that far from me, so I can meet you there.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know now.
Stop and pick me up in somewhere, airport. Yeah, I know what. I mean, you're up the coast, so I'll fly into Jacksonville. You can pick me up, and we'll head to Dawson.
We'll ride together. There you go. That sounds good. You can fly right in here to Daytona.
Yeah, there you go. Red One Scooters and also Hammer and Harry's 450 Fremont Street. Hey, want to be up on the show? Racing around the country for all of our local racers out there. Hit us up at 702-803-0875. And you can drop us an email at onpitroadracing@gmail.com. Real quickly, let me pull the shoes up. Scratch, I got your box all ready to go. I'll send it out to you the first thing tomorrow morning, buddy. She's on the way in the United States Postal Service, and she's going to send a pair of shoes just like this to Scratch. Hey, the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame is a 501c3 nonprofit, everybody. They are called Heart Shoes, and right here they are. You can see them right there on the film. And Heart Shoes are needy for men and women and children for necessary good health and positive development. Hey, you know, we've been all over Las Vegas. We've been up in Sacramento, California. Scratch, we just got a delivery of another 1,000 pairs of shoes came in. What a great donation that was. So we're going to be popping up, and I think we're hitting the Project 150, and we got some special things lined up for the Speedway Children's Charities, too. So we're going to get some shoes out to those fine folks. But if they'd like to be part of this program, it's really easy. A $500 partnership. Once again, we don't take any of the money. It all goes for these right here. $500 partnership gets you 130-second spots on the network, or a $1,000 partnership will get you 230-second spots on social media and a 3-foot by 3-foot banner right here at our location. And if you need more information, just shout at us at 702-803-0875, 702-803-0875. It is a true 501c3 nonprofit. Once again, I don't take any money. Diane doesn't take any money. Scratch doesn't take any money. The network doesn't take any money. 100% goes to buying them shoes, man. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All righty, man.
Let's get my shoes. I can't wait. I can't wait to get my shoes, and I'll show them off.
All right, let's take a quick break. Scratch, when we come back, we'll talk some motorcycle racing, some IndyCar F1. Sounds good to you?
Let's do it, my man.
Let's do it. On Pit Road Racing live here on a Monday at the WCOBM right after this, everybody.
Jerry B here up in Sacramento, Union Gospel Mission, giving out some shoes to the homeless here. A lot of smiling faces. We got one deal. We give you a pair of shoes. You got to give us a smirk and a photo. And this is the mission of the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, which is a non-profit organization based out of Las Vegas, started by Gene Woods. We're trying to do good things and fill little holes in people's lives the best we can. And today we're up in Sacramento, just doing the best we can. Thanks for supporting us.
That's Jerry B right there, man. He's one nutty dude. He was down here running go-karts the other day. He popped in, and I says, man, what are you doing? He says, I'm ready to tear some stuff up. I said, all right, get at it, Jerry.
Maybe next time I'm there, we should get him in on that action. I'll see if I can beat you and him.
Yeah, still sore from the last time you were here, I'm telling you. Hey, you ready to do a little motorcycle racing news?
Yes, sir, man. The motorcycle racing news is brought to you by the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, celebrating and preserving the memories of great motorcycle racers and the motorcycle industry icons, past and present. If you want more information, go to www.hotshoehof.com. Racing news. Alan, you got it.
That's it, the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Racing, round number 11 of 17. Man, I didn't realize that, man, they have been cooking them up. I mean, 17 events, and they're over halfway there. Here's a look at the results. 450 SX class. It was Cooper Webb scored the big win on his 450 SX main event. He stalked it the early later. That was Chase Sexton in the opening stages of the races and capitalized on a series of mistakes to overtake the top spot. The two duked it out in arguably the most suspenseful and Fun race of the year. Both riders made a number of mistakes during the race, with the end coming down to the final turn where Webb managed to hold on to the top spot. Chase Sexton held on for second place after leading the race early. Mistakes on rutted track spilled disaster for Sexton as he handled down to the Webb. The KTM rider also looked his best of the season, staying in flight to only lose by a half of a second. Jeff Lawrence finished up in third, settling the fastest lap of the race. Lawrence also made a share of mistakes along the way and surrendered to defeat himself. Man, that's just too bad. Cooper Webb on the Yamaha, Chase Sexton on the KTM, Jet Lawrence on the Honda, Aaron Plessinger on the KTM, and Ken Rosen on the Suzuki. Levi Kitchen apparently dominated the 250 SX West Coast main event class. The PNW native rocked off with a great start and an early lap race. Man, he just rocked it on. I mean, I watched a little bit of this yesterday on Peacock, man. Levi Kitchen, your winner. RJ Hemisphere up on second. Joe Samirda and Garrett Marcabella Banks and Carson Munford wrapping it all up. Next up for the series, March 30th at the Dome at America's Center. Speedway racing action for you. Scratch April 3rd. We've got practice at Paris Way. Bakersfield's running a full show on April 6th. Paris opens up on the 20th. Fast Fridays is May 10th. And Industry Hills opens with a season opener up on May 25th. And real quickly, Progressive America Flat Track. It was Saturday, May 23rd. The weather was not real great, so they ended up moving it over. But it was Jared Meads and his Honda FTR 750 pulled out the big win. Look at the top five for you. It was Meads. Then it was Dallas Daniels, Brendan Robinson, Brer Bremen, and Jarrett Van Der Kool. Up next will be the Missions Texas half mile at the Texas Motor Speedway. That's coming up Saturday, April 27th. And Scratch, that's a look at racing news and notes for you, buddy.
Hey, motorcycle racing was brought to you by the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, celebrating and preserving the memories of great motorcycle racers, motorcycle industry icons past and present. Once again, go to www.hotshoehof.com for more details.
Well, Scratch, I'm going to take you right over to IndyCar, and this update is brought to you by our good friends at the Atlanta Motorsports Park. If you need more information about getting your party, your activity, log on to the World Wide Web at atlantamotorsportspark.com. Tell us all about it, buddy. Everything was flying there, Bo.
Hey, man, as you mentioned earlier, man, this was a fancy deal, man. It was multi-million-dollar homes, swimming pools, putting greens, 5-star dining, personal landing strip for private jets, all settled in the palms of Palm Springs with the mountain view like no other. Here is where you will find the Thermal Club, a private motorsports country club. This weekend, the NTT IndyCar Series got an invite with an all-star race paying over $1.75 million and a cool $500,000 going to the winner, man. That's real money right there, Alan. In a race of varying strategies, pure speed paid off for Alex Palou. With a lucrative victory Sunday in the sprint for the purse and the Thermal Club $1 million challenge. Reigning NTT IndyCar Series champion, Palou earned $500,000. For those of you that don't know, that's $500,000.
That's you know what that is? That right there is what they call Floyd Mayweather Jr. Here's that's a lot of loaves of bread, Bobby. That's a lot of loaves, man. Go on, Scratch.
That is a lot of loaves, a lot. $500,000, $500,000 for the victory in the non-points exhibition event. I mean, it's not even a real race, man. It's just an all-star race. You're getting $500,000. All you got to do is go out there and win it. It's amazing. At the Thermal Cup, a private motorsports club near Palm Springs, California, Palou led all 20 laps of the sprint for the purse from the pole, driving his number 10 DHL Chip Ganassi Racing Honda to a 5.7929 second victory over the number 3 Expel Team Penske. A lot of familiar names there. Chevrolet of Scott McLaughlin, who earned $350,000 for his runner-up finish. That kind of changes if you ain't first, you're last, because I would say $350,000, you don't feel like you're last at all. Felix, I can't pronounce his last, Rosenquist. Do you have
Felix Rosenquist. You got it first time around. Go.
Hey, how about that? I did it. Rounded out the podium finishers in the number 60 AutoNation Sirius XM Honda, fielded by Meyer Shank Racing, earning $250,000. Man, that's not bad either. That's third place. $250,000. Okay, I'll finish third. I'll be happy with it.
more loaves of bread right there, buddy. More loaves of.
We might as well open a bread store at this point. The heat races earlier today that trimmed the 27-car field, 12 drivers for the sprint for the purse on the 17-turn 3.067 circuit based in Santa Rosa Mountains. Colton Herta placed fourth and earned $100,000. That's not shabby. And the number 26 Gamebridge Honda, fielded by Andretti Global, after deliberately finishing more than 90 seconds behind Palou in the first 10-lap segment of the sprint for the purse to save his Firestone Firehawk tires. Tire changes were not allowed during the break between 10-lap segments, and Herta and about half of the field in the 12-car feature opted for a slower tire-saving strategy in the opening 10 laps on the abrasive circuit. That sounds interesting right there. Anyway, your top 5 in points: Joseph Norgarden, Pato O'Ward, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, and Colton Herta.
You got it. Update brought to you by our good friends at Atlanta Motorsports Park. For more information, log on to the World Wide Web at Atlanta Motorsports Park. I'll tell you a couple of things. So I watched this thing yesterday, and I caught a little bit of the qualifying and practice. So over 9 hours of practice. Well, here was the thing. That thing is set out so well that, Scratch, once that wind got blowing and the sand got on the track, it ate those tires up like they did at Bristol 2 weeks ago for the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series when they were at Bristol a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it was just abrasive. I mean, it was like a cheese shredder just going at it. So, yeah, what Colton Herta did was he just laid back, and saved the tires. But the Palou show was on the go, man. I mean, this kid right up out. He's the 2-time defending IndyCar champion. He just took off. And I mean, it was just something else. But Colton Herta played it smart. And actually what happened was that he was so slow at the end of his heat, he finished 9th. Well, he finished last, but one car got penalized and dropped out. Another car didn't make it. So he moved down into 9th spot and just rode, man. And then they set this thing up to where certain parts of the track, you were allowed to use your turbo boost, but you only got 40 seconds per session of turbo boost. So you had to really use it sparingly. If you jerked it all off the bat and you get down to the end of the event, no turbo boost, I'm just telling you, it was something to see. It really was. There was a house there. This thing, Scratch, set right down, coming right out of the last turn down the front stretch. And there were people in the infinity pool overlooking, just had their shrimp cocktails and beers and everything else, champagne, just sitting in the infinity pool. I just couldn't. This was unbelievable. Like you said, it was almost Beverly Hillbilly. You know what? $1 million swimming pools and the whole 9 yards, movie stars and everybody. There was a lot of celebrities out at this thing, but a really neat thing. Good shot for the Indy cars, man. They're off for about 5 weeks, and then they head back out here to California. So
a 5-week break between races.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Isn't Laguna Seca? I think they come to Laguna Seca next is where they're off to. So we'll get that on Wednesday's show. Hey, you want to talk a little F1? Dancing Red Ponies.
Yeah, your F1 racing news is brought to you by our partners at the Atlanta Motor Speedway Park. For more information, phone 678-381-8527 or check out www.atlantamotorsportspark.com. Atlanta Motorsports Park is the country club of motorsports.
It is. I mean, this place has got to be just like, I think you got the Thermal Club on the West Coast and you got the Atlanta Motorsports Park on the East Coast. Now, the difference that I do know of, they're not houses there at Atlanta Motorsports Park. They're condominiums. Oh. I do know that. Yeah. So you get the condos there. Well, the Dancing Red Ponies, man, it was Carlos Inez, and man, it put it together. And Red Bull just did not have a great day at all. Max B had a problem, man, forcing him out. Their current reigning world champion had to retire early due to mechanical issues, man. Bidding for his record 10th victory in a row. Verstappen converted his pole position advantage, and it just wasn't a good day for the Red Bull guys. And I'm actually glad to see this. I didn't care if it was Ferrari, if it was Mercedes, if it was Renault. I didn't care. I was just wanting to see another team, another driver pick up a victory here, and it's good to see that the Dancing Ponies are back in. Verstappen still leads it, man, 51 points. Charles Leclerc at 47, sitting back. Perez is at 46, and Sinez at 40, man. And the F1 drivers are going to be on their way to Japan. That's coming up for you next, Scratch.
Hey, that's Japan. That sounds pretty cool, man. That segment was brought to you by the Atlanta Motorsports Park, the Country Club of Motorsports. Check them out at atlantamotorsportspark.com or give them a call at 678-381-8527.
There you go. We'll take us a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk us a little racing from the dirt. We've got NASCAR to catch you up with. Everything's rolling with On Pit Road Racing. Scratches down at Daytona, Alan here in Las Vegas, and we'll come back right after this quick break, everybody. On Pit Road Racing live at the WCOB.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Come on! What the yeah! Oh, man! Woo! That is awesome!
I told you that thing looks just too bad, man. I mean, it really does.
Yeah, it's awesome. It looks amazing, and then I can relate with the guy too in the commercial. I feel like that every time I step behind the wheel of anything I'm driving.
It's crazy out here. How about quit driving, man? I hit the bus or the Ubers, man. I've just had enough of the crazy.
You know, when I lived out there, I rode the bus a lot, man. I got used to it. I got used to riding it. You made some interesting people on the bus, especially in Las Vegas. I rode the bus with SpongeBob one time.
You ran into what, SpongeBob?
Yeah. I said I rode the bus one time with SpongeBob. He actually was hanging out with Darth Vader, which I thought was weird, but yeah.
Dude, okay, man.
Hey, I'm just telling you.
Let's talk a little news, racing news from the dirt, and then of course racing news from the dirt. This segment brought to you by our good friends here at the Gene Woods Racing Experience, 450 Fremont Street, Las Vegas' only true indoor drift track. For more information, 702-270-8100. Log on to the World Wide Web at gokartslasvegas.com. Scratch, the boys are flying at the dirt, and you got all the news and information. Tell us about it, my friend.
Yeah, man, the NOS Energy Drink Series, Friday night's racing at Big O Speedway and the World of Outlaws Blue Bonnet Showdown was canceled due to rain. I thought I'd build it up really big there and then let you guys know it rained. So the greatest show on dirt moved on to World of Outlaws Cowtown Roundup at Kendall Speedway Park. There's no denying 2024 didn't begin the way Carson Macedo and Jason Johnson Racing had hoped it would. The championship caliber crew stumbled out of the gate with 4 straight finishes of 12th or worse. But on Saturday night at Kendall Speedway Park, the pairing put the exclamation mark on the recent stretch that made them forget all about their subpar start. The driver of the all-ball number 41 started on the pole of the series, debuted at Kendall, stayed out front, and held off a charging David Gravel on the final lap for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car win, with finishes of 3rd, 2nd, 8th, and 1st in the last 4 races. A rough beginning of the season. Feels like it might be long gone. The points standings is Giovanni Skezel Number 18, Giovanni Skezel is number 1. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Perfect. David Gravel is number 2. Donnie Schatz is number 3. Logan Schuchart. I said Schuchart. I did that last time too. Nice name. Is 4th. Carson Macedo is 5th. The Thunderhill Raceway took a huge improvement project this winter, building a new grandstands and a new catch fence, leveling the pit area, and several more enhancements. Unfortunately, dismal weather conditions impeded the track for being ready to host this weekend's World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment Late Model Series Summertown Showdown, leading officials to postpone. I don't know why that was so hard to say. To postpone the event to Thursday, April 18th. Case Construction Series. Points as follows: Brandon Shepard, Chris Madden, Cade Dillard, Tyler Bruning, and Nick Hoffman rounding out the top 5. And that is your Outlaws, World of Outlaws right there.
There you go. It's brought to you by our good friends at the Gene Woods Racing Experience, 450 Fremont Street, Las Vegas' only true indoor drift track. More information for you, 702-270-8100. Log on the World Wide Web at Go-Karts Las Vegas, man. Well, let's talk a little bit of NHRA, and this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Hammer and Harry's Resort, 450 Fremont Street, just right across the walkway, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. HammerandHarrys.com/Fremont Street. Great food, fun times, and you always get a free shot of ketchup, man. NHRA news from Panoma, Scratch.
Man, first of all, I'm going to come out there one day and get me a shot of that ketchup. I know that. Inclement weather forced the postponement of the final rounds of the 64th annual Lucas Oil NHRA Winter Nationals on Sunday at the In-N-Out Burger Panoma Drag Strip. The final rounds in Top Fuel, Funny Car, and Pro Stock will now be completed at the upcoming NHRA Arizona Nationals, which is the next event on the NHRA Mission Food Drags Racing Series circuit. It takes place April 5th through 7th at Firebird Motorsports Park in Phoenix. In Top Fuel, Tony Schumacher and defending event winner Justin Ashley both advanced to the final round on Sunday, while Funny Cars' John Force and reigning world champion Matt Hagan powered to the championship round at the second of 20 races during the 2024 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series. Defending world champion Erica Enders and number 1 qualifier Dallas Green will meet up the finals in Pro Stock. The NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing returns to action April 5th through 7th with the 39th annual NHRA Arizona Nationals at Firebird Motorsports Park in Phoenix. The points heading into the Winter Nationals: Top Fuel, Sean Langdon; Funny Car, J.R. Todd; Pro Stock, Erica Enders; and Pro Stock MC is Gage Herrera.
Gage Herrera, that is correct. The segment brought to you by our friends at the Hammer and Harry's Resort, 450 Fremont Street, open daily from 11 to 10 p.m. Good food, fun times, and always a free shot of ketchup. I'm going to tell you something, Han. 16-time champion John Force, 75 years old. I did an interview with John Force. He was out here for NASCAR Weekend, Scratch, and he did an interview out there, and he said he's at least racing for 3 more years if he can do it. And the reason why is because Chevrolet and Peak signed a 3-year contract extension. John Force, 16-time champ, 75 years old, is in the finals of the Panoma Winter Nationals. What are you going to do, man? I mean,
hey, when you can do it, there's nothing wrong with continuing to do it. I know we had a discussion on Friday about, certain people riding around in the back and circle tracks and, things like that. But, I mean, if there was a 73-year-old NASCAR driver or whatever that could still get around there and compete, man, I'd be all for it. So the same thing with John Force. I mean, hey, everybody that races against him will be happy that he is gone when he is not racing anymore, when he's not driving. I mean, because you're not beating him. So I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. See what he's got. If he wasn't competing every week, then he would just be out there as another dragster. So
would it be something to see him at 75 years old win his 17th championship? I don't
think it's impossible, is it? No, yeah. He's the Tom Brady of Funny Car. I mean, Tom Brady is the John Force of football. Let's put it that way.
It is. Hey, let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break and we come back. I know you're chomping at the bit, man, and some good racing this weekend. Man, we've had some really good racing. I actually like the cup races all the way up to the first stage, and after that, and it sort of got strung out, but still some good show. We'll talk all about the NASCAR weekend coming up for you. Scratch and Alan doing it for On Pit Road Racing live at the WCOBM, and we're back with more right after this, everybody.
Welcome to my world. Handicap man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Well, I'm not but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone. You know, it makes for good karma or good energy, whatever it takes.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. Downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on. Get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Out there. Gotta get there. On Pit Road Racing, doing it for you Monday afternoon. Alan here in the Las Vegas Scratches down in Daytona Beach, man. Did some good racing all weekend long, man. It really, really was. Would have liked to see the NHRA get the final round kicked in. I hate to see that they have to do that, but you know, that's the way it goes.
I got a question about that, though. I was going to ask you, what do you when it comes to drag racing, you know, much like circle tracks, when it comes to drag racing, does it really, how much does the track matter? How much does the strip matter? How much does the drag? You know what I mean? Like conditions and you know, you can't, like, just an example, like you couldn't finish the Atlanta race at Phoenix.
Right.
You know what I mean? In a circle track, but you can go finish these NHRA races on another track because it's straight. I realize it's different too, I guess, right? Or no?
Well, they also have a thing. If you've never been to one, and you don't see a lot of this because of the TV, but the prep work that they do to the track, they've got gigantic tires, and the way that they skid them up, that they'll roll them down the track that it will actually lay rubber. So they've got a section that it works for the Top Fuel and the funny cars. And the Pro Stock, obviously, its tires are a lot different than actually the Pro Stock motorcycles. Then once you get into some of the history and the historic drag race and some of the old cars and stuff like that. But yeah, they prep the track so. The track is obviously the same length at each speedway. Now the two difference of it is between here and Charlotte, to where you've got 4 wide here and you've got 4 wide in Charlotte. Those are the only two places that they run it. Our event's coming up here in about 3 weeks, so that'll be for that. But yeah, the track preparation. I mean, if it rains and it's sort of like NASCAR. If they practice and qualify, and all of a sudden that night it rains and washes the rubber off the track, well, they're starting with a green track. Now, the advantage that NHRA can do, that NHRA can take these machines and this gigantic tire thing that they buy. You know what? I've got to ask Alan Ryder when I see Alan at the thing about how this machine works. But it's all about tension, and it lays the rubber down on the track, so they can run pretty much. It's and these guys, and they're amazing, Scratch, to watch these guys tear everything in a motor down except the bottom end of the block, okay, and replace everything in basically 60 minutes. So you have longer. You have longer time in the qualifying rounds, but if you're down to the semifinal and you make the final round, you got basically 1 hour to get the car back to your stall, tear it down, rebuild it, get it back up, make sure darn thing fires up and runs, and then get it to the line and hope that every piece that you put into it is all in there perfect. Because one little niche can spoil the whole day, man. Unbelievable.
Drag racing is as much about the crew as it is the driver, 100%. I mean, not that other racing sports aren't, but when you're talking about tearing down motors and putting them back together and getting them back out there, that's a whole nother story. But the racing part of it, like going from track to track, in the case of where they're going to finish a race somewhere else, is slightly different, but not not drastically different because of how they race. Straight.
Weather-wise, depending on how the weather's going to be down there, I mean, you're out in the sort of like here, you're out in the desert compared to where in Panoma. Well, you're pretty much there because it's pretty far away from the coast and the water. But conditions are going to be, conditions are pretty much going to be the same, just depending on air quality is that day, winds blowing that day, But you have no control of it. It could be the same thing in Panoma this past weekend. The rain just happened to come in and spoil it. So it's a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher for those four teams. Well, those three teams. There was no pro stock motorcycle. So those three guys have all got to. Those three guys of all teams have all got to not only finish the round for the Winter Nationals, then set everything back up again to start qualifying rounds for the Arizona Nationals. So it'll be a tough weekend for those guys out there. That's for sure.
Right on.
All right. Hey, let's talk some NASCAR here, man. Segment brought to you by our good friends at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, LVMS.com. You want to log on now, man, because there's going to be 3 nights of racing as the round of 8 race number 1 starts here in Las Vegas. October 4, you got Bull Ring Racing with the ARCA Series, and then the Xfinity and the Cups all making their way. Trucks, my friend, tell us all about it.
Yeah, the trucks, man. Corey Haim. I like the actor anyway. I'm going to call him Corey Haim no matter what. Corey Haim just dominated the XPEL 225 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Circuit of America on Saturday, scoring his first win of the season. The win was first at COTA and 6th Truck Series win of his entire career. Helm led a race high 31 of the extended race's 46 laps. He also won stage 2. Taylor Gray finished second. Ty Majeski, number 7, Connor Zilish, Ross Chastain, he got in there. Jack Hawksworth, Ben Rhodes, Kristen Eckes, Dean Thompson, and Tanner Gray, brother of Taylor Gray, is rounding out the top 10. There were 14 lead changes among 8 drivers and 6 cautions for 10 yellow flag laps. The average speed of the race was 69.492 miles an hour. The NASCAR Truck Series driver points after Bristol, it says after Bristol, but it's after COTA, was one Corey Helm with Corey Haim with 1 win, and he's the points leader up there in the top. Ty Majeski is number 2, Tyler Ankrum number 3, Taylor Gray number 4, and Raja Karuth is number 5. He's got himself a win though, so he's looking all right. That's the trucks. You got Xfinity news? I'll move on with the Xfinity news. Kyle Larson made a last lap pass to win Focused Heath 250 Xfinity Series race at COTA. Larson was patient and scooted by the lead in turn 15 when Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, man, he made a move, man. I thought it was going to be a good one, but he just had Larson back there with good tires. He smacked Austin Hill out of the way, and then that's when Larson come around there and won his first one at COTA, and it's his 15th career win in the series. Hill was credited with a runner-up finish and has a top 5 finish in 5 races to start the 2024 season. John Hunter Nemechek rebounded to finish third after having an oil leak in the middle of the race. Cole Custer and Parker Klingerman rounded out the top 5. Jesse Love finished 6th, with Austin Green finishing 7th in his series debut. Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, and A.J. Allmendinger round out the top 10. SVG was assessed a 30-second penalty following the race, cutting the course, and dropped to 27th from his second place finish is what he had. But he finished 27th because he went off the track there in that in those S's where they were penalizing everybody. Klingerman won the opening stage with Herbst taking the second stage. There was 13 lead changes among 8 drivers and 4 cautions and 9 yellow flag laps. The average speed of the race was 72.374 miles an hour. So a couple miles an hour faster than the actual trucks there. Xfinity point standings. Austin Hill is first. He's got 2 wins. And Chandler Smith is second. Cole Custer is third. Jesse Love is fourth. And Riley Herbst is fifth. You got the Cup Series there? Or you got something you want to discuss about? We'll discuss it all when you get done. How about that?
Yeah, that's good to see. I kept telling everybody, watch out for this kid, Jesse Love. Well, watch out for him. Number 2, Richard Childress Chevrolet. Riley Herbst is still hanging in there. You got it scratched. William Byron and the Hendrick Chevrolet Echo won the Echo Parts Texas Grand Prix NASCAR Cup Series race at the Circuits of America. This was his second win of the year, his first at COTA, and his 12th career victory. Christopher Bell finished up second, followed by Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, A.J. Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. wrapping up your top 10. Byron started on the pole, led 42 of the 68 laps. A late charge by Christopher Bell came up short as Byron won by a 0.7 seconds. Stage 1 was won by Christopher Bell. Denny Hamlin, last week's winner, picked up the second stage. There were 11 lead changes with 7 drivers, 2 cautions, 4 yellow flag laps. The average speed was 82.224 miles an hour. And let me see, the number 51 of Justin Haley was disqualified for not meeting minimum post-race weights. So somewhere along the way, weights come up out of that car, I guess. Cup Series standings after 6 of 26 events. Truex leads the point standings for you. And that's about a look at it, man. Brought to you by our good friends at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, you were about to say the Xfinity race. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was I enjoyed especially the last 10 laps of that race. It was a great race, I'll be honest with you. SVG, who I thought really was going to win that race before the race and during it, to be honest with you. Man, I knew once Austin Hill gave him a little bump, there was payback coming. I mean, that's kind of what they talked about too afterwards. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's going to get up there and just bump him right out of the way. Well, a couple of cautions before that, Larson, as we all know, had gone in and got himself some new tires. And that didn't look like that was really going to work out for him. But after a couple of cautions, he was able to just get right up there with those new tires. And he just sat there just waiting. He was in the catbird seat to the finish of that race. And, SVG, I mean, he if he wasn't going to win and he wasn't going to let Austin Hill win and he bumped him out of the way, making that move, and Larson just saw that door open and went for the victory. And those new tires weren't anything to match. And then, of course, as I just mentioned and saw yesterday, it was kind of sad for SVG. They had interviewed him before he knew, he thought he finished second, but before he knew he was getting bumped back to 27th because he went off in the track area right there. I saw a lot of those penalties and I mean, I know it's behind the line. I mean, I get it, it's below the line. It's, whatever, I mean, if you go straight across, I get it. But, man, if you sink a tire inside the line there a little bit, I don't know, man.
Well, they
I
had
mean,
that
it's whatever. It's whatever. Rules are rules. I'm just saying, though, it kind of sucks.
Well, where was it coming out of? What was it, turn 7 or turn 8, where they had peeled into the dirt? And they had cut
it was like 6 through 8. 6 through 8 was where these penalties were coming. That was like the penalty zone through those S's. So you didn't just go straight, apparently. But yeah, you're beating and banging on that lap. I mean, let me put it this way: if that was for the win, let's say Larson doesn't get around them two. Okay, let's just hypothetically say that for a minute. I don't think SVG went off enough to be penalized. So let's say he wins that race. Then he doesn't win that race, does he? He still finishes 27th. Yeah. So, I mean, it's whatever though. Rules are rules, man. You go below the yellow line at Daytona, it's the way it is. But
yeah, no passing on the double line. And I mean, but then again, if they're going to let him cut into the dirt, through 7 and 8, like the way they were doing, and they were talking about that doing it and also messing up the undercarriage of the cars. Who was it? Did SVG? Did he lose? He lost a gear too, didn't he? Didn't he lose first? He lost a gear.
First gear.
Yeah. So his last round of pits, I mean, that sort of messed him up. But I mean, he was
still right there, Alan. He was still right there.
Yeah. He's got his learning growth to do. I mean, I think the road racing, because that's more what he's adapted to, or street racing, and he's going to adapt to the circle track. I mean, this guy can race, man. This guy knows what he's.
I believe it.
Did you also notice that he was the only driver of 39 that were in almost a full field yesterday? Almost a full field. He's the only driver left that does the heel toe thing as far as shifting and gas. Did you saw that? He's the only guy left that still does that.
I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah, they talked about that a little bit. I thought that was pretty neat myself too. You remember when they used to show always, if they were on a road course, they show Ricky Rudd's feet.
Yep.
Ricky Rudd always had a camera on his feet.
Jeff Bodine, they always showed a lot. I think Jeff Bodine was a heel toer guy too. And, when they would run back in the day, just Sonoma and over at Watkins Glen, New York, they would show a lot. ESPN did this a lot. They would put a lot of cameras on people's feet just to show them what the drivers were going through the day, all the shift. And they said yesterday in one lap that they would shift the car, 24 to 26 times yesterday. God, that's got to be heck on a transmission, man. Got to be heck on it.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Plus,
a lot of shift.
Plus in that front stretcher going uphill, which I was going to mention. So that first turn, all right, you could go way out of bounds in that first turn. There's so much concrete on the other side of it, or pavement, or on the other side of the track there. So I mean, the fact that they penalize you for going out of bounds in certain spots of the track and not the whole entire track blows my mind. Because all road courses, man, everybody cuts the corners.
Yeah.
If they can drive over it, they will. So I don't know. That's the thing for me. Like, again, we'll go back to Daytona and the yellow line. You go below the yellow line, but the yellow line is everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. The cars in Indy at Thermal Club, man. I mean, the curbs away there. They had stilled shots of showing these cars, all four wheels at one time. I was just trying to think, was it turn 9? I think it was turn 9. That all four wheels, the way they came through it, boom. I mean, his car was off because it was pretty too. They showed Palou in one thing where the car came up and Palou's eyes are looking slightly, I guess it would have been to his left on the TV shot, but his actual right. He was looking to where the track was, and the car was up off the ground, and the car was going straight, but he was looking to the right. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild how that.
Did you see too? I thought this was funny. Listen, man, these road course ringers, they're not intimidated. I mean, Kobayashi, did you see what happened to him where he got bumped up out of the way? I think it was who was it that bumped him out of the way?
It might have been Justin Haley. I don't know. Justin Haley. I think it was Justin Haley. He wasn't. No,
I don't think it was. I think it was. I want to say it was the 47. What's his face?
Ricky Stenhouse.
Yes, I want to say it was him. Maybe it wasn't, but for this story purposes, I'm gonna say that it was. Bumped Kobayashi out of the way, and Kobayashi, as he was spinning, you could tell he gave it a little gas. You know what I mean? He gave it a little gas to make sure he could tag that back fender a little bit and spun him out too. You know what I mean? Because they just were trying to muscle him, and he, he's a great race car driver too.
He had a column that it came out. I think it was I was trying to think the paper that he's really pushing to see NASCAR come back to Japan to the Suzuka circuit. But you remember that when Dale Sr. and Jr. actually took the cars over there and had that exhibition run and everything else. So
I do remember that. That was great. I do remember that. That would be and that would be awesome too. But I mean, Kobayashi, he's won the Rolex twice here in Daytona.
Yep.
So I mean, the guy could drive, and I feel like they kind of tried to bully him a little bit, and because he's in the 50 car, he's racing this week. We won't see him for a while, whatever. And there's no doubt in my mind that little extra as he was spinning around, especially when they showed the in-car cam. When they showed the in-car cam, you could hear a little gas, you could hear a little acceleration.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear a little, I got to tap that fender real quick. You could hear that. You could hear it.
This was my TV time. I know the camera's on me, so I'm going to hit it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I'm not going to let him just shove me out of the way and wipe me out.
That guy's won. He's been part of a team for a winning team on the Rolex. He's been Sebring. He's won over in Monaco. He's been part of a team's racing over there. So that guy, Kobe can go, man. He can go. We just got to maybe.
Yeah, and he's not
going to get him on some circle tracks.
Yeah, he's not gonna put up with your trash back there. He don't care. I like that though. I like that. I like to see some of these ringers come in there and not get pushed around by the regulars, man. I don't have any problem with that at all.
There you go. Well, this weekend, we're back short track racing for you, man. We're heading off to Richmond International Raceway. Great that the trucks are actually off, so it'll be a double header for the Cups and the Xfinities. And then, of course, coming right after that, short track continues on to Martinsville, Virginia, where all three series will go. So this Friday scratch, we'll preview Richmond. Great track, man. You talking about some tagging offenders, buddy. I remember old Earnhardt smacking Terry Labonte. I've seen Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon go at it there. That's one track that you race the Rusty rule, man. Either lead, follow, or get the heck out of the way because we're coming. So I think we'll see some great action. Of course, want to be one of the first races up underneath the lights, truly up underneath the lights this year. So looking forward to that. We'll discuss it on Fridays. Does it sound good to you?
It sounds great to me. I bet you we see a little bit of bent up sheet metal this weekend too.
Or broken plastic, man. The busted plastic.
Whatever the hell they're making these cars out of these days. It's going to get messed
Where's
up.
The Nutjack Entertainment? Where's the Nutjack Entertainment and the Scratch of the K off to this weekend, man? What do you got planned for this week?
Hey, well, I did my first back doing karaoke roulette last night. So we'll be doing that every Sunday at Mulligan's Grill. And April 4th, I'm kicking off that Mulligan's Money Mike, where we're going to give $75 to the funniest comic of the night at an open mic, and $25 to the second best comic. And the third best comic is going to get a $15 gift certificate there for Mulligan's. And that's 3830 South Nova Road in Port Orange, where I host my showcase there as well. It was the third Thursdays. I think we're going to just keep the open mic, the Money Mike rolling on Thursdays. And we're going to move that showcase to a Saturday that I'm not sure about yet, but we're working on that, man. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then, of course, Friday, I'll be right here on this show. My favorite thing to do on Pit Road Racing. My boy Alan Michaels. I love you, dude.
Man, I'll be hanging out at the front door over the next couple of days here at the Gene Woods Racing Experience, greeting our customers out and getting them on this go-kart track. And, of course, Wednesday, Diane and I'll be back. And we'll be back for an hour show. We'll talk a little racing and updates for you. And then back at with Scratch and I on Friday. And we'll set you up for Richmond this weekend and all the other racing action, my friend. Good to always have you aboard, man. I'm going to call for John. How about it, okay?
Yeah, do it.
Scratch of the K down in Daytona, Alan here in Las Vegas. Monday edition of On Pit Road Racing. Back at you on Wednesday. Diane's back in studio. We'll have all the news updates of what's going on in Scratch, and I'll be back on Friday to set you up for weekend racing. On Pit Road Racing with the WCOBM. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don, bring us home.
Thanks for joining us for On Pit Road Racing. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Pit Road Racing. On Pit Road Racing is written and produced by WCOBM TV. I'm John the Announcer for On Pit Road Racing.